All right, guys, so I made a mistake in this phone call, which we'll get to in a minute. But what I would really like to suggest to you guys is be fresh when you're making your phone calls. This is the most important part of your day. This is when you're bringing in new business. This is when you're making first impressions. This is when you want to be sharp. You want to be fresh. You want to be able to handle objections, answer questions, and explain who you are and why you're calling very smoothly and efficiently. So always be fresh when you're making your phone calls. If you are freshest in the morning, then maybe you should be making your phone calls in the morning. If you are better at night, maybe you should make your phone calls at night. Ideally, you're changing it up, but regardless, if you're making them at night, don't do it after having a long day. Do yourself a favor, take a little bit of time off, take an hour or two if you need it, and go for a walk, relax. Make sure that when you do get on that phone, that you are ready to go so you can make the very best first impression. Because as you'll hear in this phone call, I talked to Paul, but I didn't hear the name properly because I was kind of wandering around my office, not fully paying attention, and I started calling him the wrong name. Now, fortunately, I asked him pretty quick if I had the name right because I realized I wasn't paying attention, and I got my head in the game and asked him his correct name so I could address him properly. But if I didn't catch that, that could be very offensive to people. It only takes a very small misstep to turn somebody off. Again, if you get on the phone and you're not ready to go, if you don't acknowledge them immediately, if they hear that you're talking to somebody else, you're listening to a podcast, you're listening to loud music, it can be very rude and distracting, and many people are going to get upset by that. They pick up the phone, they expect that the other person is going to acknowledge them immediately and get right into the call. So I highly suggest that when you're making your calls, again, you are not distracted, that you're giving the calls 100% of your effort and your full and complete attention, and you have as few distractions as possible. Again, that's going to make your calls go so much better, and it's going to show people the proper respect that they're going to expect, and it's going to help you build connections so much more strongly and easily, and it will actually transform your cold calling. If you're making calls while you're distracted, you're thinking about 10 different things, you're trying to multitask, you're not going to properly build rapport and connect with people. And frankly, even though you think you're getting more done because you're multitasking, you're actually losing the war because you're not building relationships and rapport, and you're actually falling further behind because you are not making the connections and building your pipeline like you could be if you were giving the phone calls 100% focus and attention. So even though I was able to turn this call around because I got my head in the game, please do yourself a favor and make this a best practice where the phone calls are sacred. They are the most important part of your day where you generate new business. But still, guys, you'll enjoy this call. Sometimes you pick up the phone, and even though, like in this call, the client tells you that there are 6, 7, 8, 9 other people vying for the same listing, I was able to differentiate myself by telling them, hey, I'm a hardworking guy. I also buy houses, which immediately got him excited and made me a priority because he said he was trying to get rid of the home very quickly. And even if he took a little bit of a discount, he was okay with that. So I put myself in the driver's seat with this particular client by giving him the same old option that everybody else was giving him, but in addition, letting him know that I purchase homes myself, which is again the trigger that got me in the door, and then it allowed me to build a little rapport. And as I develop this relationship, I will continue to build rapport, and then hopefully I will get a purchase or a listing. But again, sometimes just you need to be a little bit different than everybody else to get in the door and separate yourself from the competition. All right, guys, I'm Ken Blumberg with Making Probate Easy, the channel where you're going to learn more and live better. So go ahead and give me a like on this video. Give me a comment if you get something out of this, and I'll see you on the other side. Thanks for watching. Yeah. Hi, Bob. Yeah, my name is Ken Blumberg, and the reason I was reaching out to you, you said Bob, right?
No, I said Paul.
Oh, Paul. Okay. Well, I'm glad I checked. Right. Yeah. Hi, Paul. Yeah. Like I said, my name is Ken Blumberg, and I'm kind of playing detective tonight, so I appreciate you playing along and taking a couple minutes with me. But Paul, my understanding is that maybe you're going through the probate process here in Las Vegas.
Yeah, so you're about number 9 in line on these calls. So
yeah,
we're getting ready to list it, and it's not a complicated system. We're going to list it this Friday, and I just got to select one of the 7 or 8 people that are in line doing the same thing.
Right. Well, maybe.
I just got to sell the house. That's all I'm looking to do.
No, and that's fine. I mean, I'm a hardworking guy. I do buy houses occasionally, and that's great. But
so if you want to swing by and look at it, and make me an offer. I'm interested in that. I mean, I'd rather not do the typical real estate listed all that BS, and I would process this today. Okay, been emptied and cleaned and.
Yeah, do you have a hand with do you need a hand with that, Paul? I mean, I have crews that can help you.
Not at this point, no. Why don't you do this? Call me tomorrow, and I'll make sure my sister's there. Go by and look at it. Let me know if you want to make an offer. And it's probably mid-high market 385, but I'm looking at someone who wants to give me 360, 355, somewhere in that range.
Right.
As is.
Yeah.
Let's talk.
Okay, well, I appreciate that. I mean, because
it would go for about $415 if it was, there's a new stove. It's dated, but it's in really good shape. I mean, you'll be able to see the potential based on your knowledge of the market, the local market.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Perfect. I mean, again, as far as your assessment, it only needs to be updated, like maybe new counters.
That depends on the buyer. I mean, if a buyer doesn't care about the most fancy stuff, it's got nice tile throughout and stucco and new air conditioning, new stove, new hood. It's in good condition, but it's not like new condition.
Gotcha.
Someone could go in there and say, "Oh, I'll paint it myself, and I'll do this and I'll do that. I'll love it."
Right, and so
do that. Call me tomorrow, and I'll see if I can get you by to look at it.
And it's the home on El Cosmo Way, right? That I do have
El
that.
Como Way.
Oh, Como Way. I'm sorry. Got it. Okay, but that we're talking about the same property, so that's good. Okay. Yeah. I mean, do you and may I ask, Paul, if you don't want to list it? I mean, is there a reason that you don't want to list it?
Well, I just don't want to pay the big real estate fees and go through the months of BS and the inspections, and I'm not aware of any damage or repairs, but the conventional sale method has all its complications, including time. We're not desperate to get rid of it. It's just my mom passed away in February. We're trying to get this behind us.
Yeah, so yeah. I mean,
there's an opportunity there for someone. If you gave me like 360 and put 10 into it, I think you'd make 10 or 20 on the final sale, or even more.
Okay.
I think paint and a little landscape. It's like a blank landscape in the backyard. It's got a huge backyard. It's just dirt and a few trees.
Right.
I mean, a guy could go in there and throw some trees and plants and whatever, and do some cosmetic things inside. And, that's about as far as I would go with it.
Right, okay.
And in that price range, the families that are looking at for houses under 400 don't necessarily care about, the fanciest countertops and all that. Not that there's anything wrong. There's tile countertops, tile floors, and a nice layout.
Right, and if we were to come to some kind of agreement, then I might put in new countertops. I'd have to obviously assess it.
No, assess that. That's the thing. Like going by and check it out, see if it's something you want to talk about at the next level, and we'll go from there.
Okay. And what's your sister's name?
My sister's name is Elizabeth.
Elizabeth. Okay.
Yeah, she's in and out all day and getting the stuff that she's going to take out to her house in Kingman. So just give me a call, and I'll make sure she's there. We're going to be, give me an hour's lead time.
Gotcha. Okay, and it's going to be her again, not yourself. Okay. Yeah. Hey, one more.
The administrator as well. So
Gotcha. You're the only administrator. It's not co-administrators with your
no,
sister.
I'm the administrator here. No, my son is there in Vegas as a co-administrator.
Oh, I
That's
see.
just the technicality, so to speak.
Yeah. I mean, if your son wasn't here, then you'd have to have somebody probably appointed by the attorney or somebody else that you'd have to find, because if you're out of state, they make you do it. Why? I have still not able to figure that out, but just they want to be involved in it.
It's probably some fraud prevention thing, or who knows.
Yeah, the next question I was going to ask you is in relation to that. A lot of these homes, Paul, have to go back to court for court confirmation.
And I'd have to ask the lawyers. My understanding is that since I've been designated administrator, I can do what I have to do. Now the money has to go into a probate escrow account. I understand that. I double check with the lawyer. I can't tell you who the lawyers right offhand because I'm downstairs.
Yeah, and I probably have that information too. But that would be really important.
My sister just went through this 3 years ago, and that they sold the house. It went to a probate escrow account, and once the probate was completed, I was released.
Right, but I've been doing this for I've been in real estate coming up on 20 years here in Las Vegas, and I've been doing probate for not exclusively, but the majority of my business is coming from probate now for the past 4 years,
sure.
And half of them need court confirmation, which means they're going to post it in the paper and let everybody know that this home is for sale, and then anybody who wants to outbid the current offer can come in and
they can. Let's do this then. Let's go by and check it out, see what you think, and then let me run this by the probate attorney, and you and I can both correspond with them and just see how the best way to go here.
Gotcha.
They haven't mentioned anything like that to me about that. To me, it's just let's get the house sold, and we're not talking about millions. We're talking about hundreds of thousands at the most.
Right. Okay. And you're with Sam Warren, I believe, is your attorney.
I can't tell you. I've had 3 or 4 of his people there, so yeah, that sounds right.
Got you. Maybe Nathan.
I'm so busy with my work that I just,
Maybe Nathan.
I'm trying to get this done on the family's behalf, and just, put that part of this in closure.
Absolutely. Like I said, people. I mean, I don't think you're going to be able to properly grieve until this is done, and then
my mom, she lived a happy life, and there's not a bunch of stress over her passing. She was ready to go and all that. It's just the inner workings of my sisters and myself, and it's just like, okay.
Right. Was your mom was she was what's that? I'm sorry.
My mom was a centerpiece, and I had 2 sisters that want to make drama.
Oh, I see. Okay. I was going to ask you if she was a religious woman.
Not really, but we got to see her go away, and she's happy now, and that's okay.
Right.
The whole thing, it's part of life. She wasn't 40; she was 70 or 83. So. Right.
Well, and the reason I ask you. Oh, definitely. I mean, she lived a full life, and she's way more fortunate than so many. The only reason I asked you, Paul, is because I've been doing this, like I said, for 4 years, and I kind of try to get to know people, and I find that a lot of times when people believe in God, they have less anxiety about the passing of somebody.
We're churchgoers here in Phoenix, and I don't have any. It's not like I lost a child. My mother lived a happy, healthy, long life, and she's gone now. I mean, she suffered, but she suffered because she wanted to, and she didn't want to get treatment, and, she went out kind of ugly, but, that was her choice. She wanted to scowl at us kids. I know we don't laugh, but it's like, that was my mom. She was hostile all the way to the end.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah, that's like, well, it sounds like my dad. I can't understand the man. As I'm 54, and you know, some of the stuff he says, I'm like, you know, that's so obviously false. And I think he's just blusters because he wants to feel important. And, you know, and he's really not that important. I mean, you know, he's my dad. I love him, but.
My dad's 87, and it got to a point with those same kind of things. I couldn't take him to a restaurant. And I told my sister in California, don't take him to church, and don't take him out to a restaurant. She immediately did it. And just a quick kind of funny story is, sit in the pew in the front row at my sister's church in Bonneville, California.
Oh, no.
And the pastor starts talking, and about a minute into it, my dad swings around and says, "What a crock of shit."
Oh, see, that's.
And my sister,
oh my goodness.
Sister called me. Oh my God, what did he do? I said, "I told you."
Oh, wow.
He mellowed considerably since then, but you know, it's the same kind of thing. I think there's a point where you lose your filter.
Yeah.
And people just they do things that are maybe not socially acceptable, and I've kind of been that way all my life, but that's okay.
Well,
let's do this. Call me tomorrow.
Okay.
Let me arrange for you to go by and check it out.
All right,
I appreciate
Paul.
your opinion either way. If there's a way to make a deal on this without listing and doing all that, I think there's an opportunity for someone to make a little money if they.
Okay.
If they
Would you?
want to fix it up.
Could you do me the favor and call Sam
Yeah.
though in the morning and ask him if you need court confirmation? I mean, that's going to be.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's going to be.
We need to do that before we go to the next level here.
Yeah, I mean, it's important to know either way. The buyer needs to know, like, if I listed your property, I would want to put it in the agent's agent remarks. This is a probate. It's subject to the probate court approval.
Yeah.
And it does or does not need court confirmation, because finding the right buyer who's willing to wait that extra, you know, month and a half potentially, or sometimes longer, you know, you got to find the right person who's willing to wait. So it's very.
I understand it, and I don't have time to deal with this. I'm not looking to put any money in my pocket. I just need to get the court costs, the probate costs paid, and overhead expenses, and you know, all of that done, and just put this whole piece of this to bed.
Absolutely, Paul. All right. Well, hey, I appreciate you sharing. You know, I got more stories about my dad. It sounds like these guys are very much alike. All right, Paul. All right, have a good night.
Yeah,
all right. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed that call. As you can see, a lot of times cold calling, especially in a very competitive market, is a game of inches. It is saying the right thing at the right time and getting that person's attention before they categorize you and just say, oh, I've already talked to 10 people like this person. You need to make yourself stand out, make yourself a little bit different. And that's exactly what I did in this conversation. And that's something that you'll be able to do very easily once you get on the phone and make cold calling a part of your day. And also, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, give it your full attention as if your business and career depended on it, because it absolutely does. So again, this is sacred. It is the most important part of your day if that's how you're generating your business, and you should treat it as such. Eliminate all distractions, give it total focus, and build those relationships. All right, guys, again, thank you for watching. I'm Ken Blumberg with Making Probate Easy, the channel where you're going to earn more and live better. If you want to reach out to me and see how I can help you in your real estate business, go ahead and schedule a Zoom meeting with me. All my contact information is going to be in the description below. So I look forward to hearing from you. We can set up a 15-minute conversation on Zoom to see if I'm a good fit to help you with your business. All right, guys, until I hear from you, I will see you on the next video. Thanks for that like and for the comment. Bye for now.